London heat wave leads to air quality concerns. High levels of ozone have been recorded in London, leading to fears that public health could be affected. According to the website AirText, which monitors air quality levels in the capital, high readings of ozone were taken in areas of outer London today. However, air quality readings taken by DEFRA are yet to show any significant levels of ozone across the city. Ozone can be harmful to humans, as the ozone molecule consists of 3 oxygen atoms bound together, making it a powerful oxidizing agent which could damage biological membranes, including the lining of the lungs. Simon Burkitt, founder of the Clean Air in London campaign, believes that the heatwave currently sweeping the capital is largely to blame for the high incidence of ozone being recorded. He said, "It has been unusually hot for May, and London is due to hit 28 or 29 degrees at some point today. Smog can be caused by a combination of the low level of wind and the sunshine. What is happening is that there are high levels of ozone in outer London, not helped by sunshine beating down on the nitrogen dioxide from traffic pollution in inner London." Dr. Christine McHugh, Assistant Director at Cambridge Environmental Research Consultants, which runs the AirTech service alongside London councils, explained that high ozone readings can be common at this time of year. She said, "Every spring it is not unusual to get readings of high ozone levels. In the heat, these can be caused by a photochemical reaction which brings the molecules down into the lower atmosphere. Some people can be affected, but higher readings have been taken elsewhere in Europe than in London." And according to Mr. Burkitt, the high ozone levels are likely to be one reason why London ambulance service staff were called out 1,345 times on Tuesday, May the 22nd. The service's busiest weekday in history. Assistant Chief Ambulance Officer John Pooley confirmed that a large portion of these calls were from people suffering from chest pains and with breathing difficulty, which he attributed to the hot weather. Mr. Burkitt has hit out at the lack of publicity of the London's high ozone levels, claiming that DEFRA has broken assurances made in Parliament that it would publish details of any smog episodes occurring across the country. He said, "There is no question people should be warned. Quite frankly, this is a massive public health failing by the government and the mayor. Both say that they want the public to be made more aware of the pollution, but they are going out of their way not to do so. I think they are avoiding the issue and trying to keep it out of the public eye." Speaking to Air Quality News, a spokesman for DEFRA said that as yet only moderate levels of ozone had been recorded across the capital by the government, and any high ozone readings would be publicised immediately. She said, "If there is an episode of smog, we would issue alerts in the form of an information bulletin, but we haven't reached high ozone levels yet. DEFRA would also issue a bulletin at the beginning of the smog season, although there is no legal requirement for us to do so. We have been monitoring stations across the country, which are updated throughout the day." Right guys, so you've just heard, and I've just showed you the report that's online at the moment. It's on the Air Quality News website, and they're showing concerns about the quality of air that they're finding in London. And just like my report and what I told you about already, there's a lot of people with breathing difficulties, and people are being taken to hospital because they cannot breathe. Now the thing is, they're blaming this at the moment on the heat wave that we're having. The thing is, I'm going to tell you what I think it is. I think because we've not got much natural cloud at the moment, okay, and it is fairly quite, it's quite clear skies, so the stuff they're spraying is getting down quicker. But they're saying this smog is due to the heat wave that we're having, and to me that just doesn't make sense. And also what doesn't make sense to me is the statistics on this. So the London Ambulance Service staff were called out
1,345 times on Tuesday, just gone, May the 22nd. Say that again, yeah? 1,345 times they were called out because people were having chest pains and breathing difficulties, and they attributed it to the hot weather. So I don't know about you guys, but when it gets really hot, I don't have breathing difficulties, really. You know, if you go to a country and they're not spraying and it's hot, it's fine and you can deal with it. You know, it's never affected my breathing. What's affected my breathing is the shit that they're spraying in the sky, and they're trying to blame it on hot weather, which is it's absolute crap, people. And the thing is, if you're going to have in the capital alone 1,345 people being called, the ambulance, you know, taken to hospital, why has there not been a warning given to people in London? Why hasn't the mayor said anything about bad air quality? You know, I know we're coming up for the Olympics. Maybe they don't want to scare people. But I'm telling you, if you come over here and you're coming over for the Olympics, then please do bring a mask with you, because you'll probably need it. And that's the honest truth. So if you're living in London, please really just be careful and take care of yourselves. If you do get any problems with your chest or your breathing, then I do suggest you do get yourself to a doctor. Another thing I wanted to show you quickly, this is a story from yesterday's Evening Standard. That's yesterday's Evening Standard. And I don't know if they're trying not to warn people, but this was a tiny, tiny little story. You see this bit here? Tiny, absolutely tiny bit of page it took. And that was a story in the Evening Standard. Londoners were warned of the first big summer smog of the year as the ambulance services said it had seen an unprecedented rise in emergency calls for breathing trouble and chest pains. Levels of harmful ozone and car exhaust particles had soared this week as temperatures headed towards 30 degrees. So they're trying to blame it on car exhaust and ozone. I'm blaming it on the shit that you're spraying in the air, and there's not much proper God-sent cloud coverage today, so it's coming down quicker and it's coming down harder, and because the sun's shining, it's probably making the nanoparticles affect our chests even more. And remember, a line that I told you in this story, it actually says that it can affect the lining of the lungs, right? It says it here. Ozone can be harmful. The molecules consist of 3 oxygen atoms bound together, making it a powerful oxidizing agent which can damage biological membranes, including the lining of the lungs. Okay, now this is what can be possibly happening to people in London and outside of London, but there's been no warning. They're not telling you to be careful or anything. So it's going to be a nice hot weekend. Just take your time outside, be careful, look after yourselves, and I'll speak to you soon. One love.